Good morning. Um, it's 6:26, Monday 28th. I'm gonna start recording for this little minute vlog of my week. Um, yeah, I'm gonna take you with me today, tomorrow, and for the rest of the week. Okay, for now, I'm just realizing that I have a quiz, a case study, and another quiz to get done by Sunday. Not too bad, but I'm a little bit excited because this one quiz is about my um, water sustainability research class. So I'm just checking out the modules that I have to read and then to get that quiz done. And yeah, I'll take you with me on the readings and some of the other modules and things that I have to get through before I do my quiz. All right. So I kind of just went through some of the modules, and it's three modules for this quiz. We're going to be reading about the economic frameworks of like water, so like cost, cost analysis, different permits, and like basically the economical frameworks of it. Also institutional frameworks, so like how stakeholder management, stakeholder involvement, and communities involvement is necessary for the management of water. And we're gonna also do water laws, so water guidelines, water resource laws, and standards and all of that. But yeah, it's a little bit of everything. It's basically gonna be, oh my god, there's three modules. So water is a human right. I don't want to open them because then I have to go back, but water is a human right. This is kind of like the one about water law. Then we have institutional framework, so the involvement of stakeholder and all of that, and water. Oh, this is water law actually. What the heck? Okay, this is something else. Yeah, this is water as a commodity. So this is economical frameworks of water. So we're gonna go through that through a couple of days. Usually the way I will divvy up my week for assignments is like a few days I will focus on reading in the morning for whatever quiz I have to do. Then like right now obviously I have three assignments. That's usually the case. One of them is super easy. It's for another class. We'll get to it. But it's basically like reading a little bit from this PowerPoint and like answering this like essay questions, which are straight from the PowerPoint. And then the other one is a case study. That one is going to take a little while. I do have to look for an organization that has done like environmental efforts for like within the last 10 years, but that is not in the US. Probably I'm going to do something from Dominican Republic, but also it's like about, I have to write about like 1,000 words or something like that, and there's different sections, so I kind of have to make sure that I have enough information to put on that paper about that organization. And it could be anything like oh, they regulated water, or like they clean up this like many, I don't know, surface water sources around the island or something like that. Like it could be something like that. It could also be like, oh, they kind of were the pioneers in like air pollution reduction or something in the country. But yeah, I'm gonna look that up and kind of start seeing like what I'm gonna write about. It could be also something else from like another place, but it's just, yeah, it has to be from outside the US. um yeah, I'm not gonna do that like right now on Monday, but we'll get to that and we'll narrow down what we're gonna write for that paper. Bye, see you later. Here's me getting ready for work. Literally just doing my hair and quickly my makeup. Well, I didn't catch it there, but yeah. Right, here we are on our way to work. Exciting. Yay! Anyways, we get to commute on the metro. That is actually exciting.
And this week I was helping one of my colleagues with putting together a presentation on water quality in DC, and we were exploring the different houses and places that still have lead pipes. And yeah,
I didn't know, but you can have good notes read to you. New discovery. I love it. It's like listening to a podcast. Not as soothing, but you know what I mean.
everyone, here's my lunch for the day, a bunch of food and also a bunch of snacks. Because this girl gets hungry. This week I'm working on this presentation for Spanish speaking parents on substance use.
Not to focus on your problems, but to focus on his.
Okay, this reading, it's really cool. It talks about how, I don't know if you can read it there. Can you read it? Oh my god. A little bit, yeah. Well, it talks about the importance of policy in the regulation of water, especially in the utility setting, and how it can be structured so it's more they call it like the urban poor, which I don't know if that's like a nice name, but it's basically for those who lack access to being connected to like the actual water pipes and like sewage system and all of these different things, because they might be in what these people call it like illegal settlements or like informal settlements. So like, let's say there's a overgrowth of the population in this area, let's say in the DMV area, and there's just a bunch of people that are not able to, let's say, get into an apartment complex or like actually afford to like rent or buy a house or something like that. So let's say they just kind of do a home makeshift type of situation and like they live there. So obviously they wouldn't be necessarily connected to their regular overall like regional water system. Will like where like I get my water, like I open my fountain, water fountain, there's water, like stuff like that. So they're basically talking about how to integrate these people, that group of people who like are living there and all these different things, are working in the area, they live there, right? But they like in the meantime of like trying to connect their house to the formal water system, how they can still provide water for them and also enhance what like the sanitation, since obviously their toilets and so on and so forth, their sanitation facilities in their own homes don't are not connected to the sewage systems. Obviously that is very concerning and it's a risk to public health in the area. And one thing that they mentioned, which is like really important, is the integration and like active participation of basically, you know, like neighbors meeting, basically like that. But depending on like how big the area is and sometimes how organized they are, that might not be like, let's say it might not be called or be like a neighbors association, but it would just be something a little bit more informal. But it's still very encouraged that they participate into the process of like how these things would be implemented, of course, and also adopting regulatory environment, the regulation of like environmental laws and whatever. But yeah, now we're gonna go into this reading, which is more water laws. And so far, as you can see here, water is a public resource, is legally and historically a public resource. We want water to be public. There's this two-sided world where yes, water can be also private once it's, let's say, in a residential area, when it's in an industry like you, that's your private water. Like if I were to know that someone like somehow connected their pipe to like my pipe of water or something like that, and they're like stealing the water, that's not good, because like in that case water is private and like I paid for my water, right? But then there's many other instances where water is that tricky good where we have to value it as a, obviously as a public resource, but at the same time we have to see it as an economic good as well, so that there's incentive for folks and also industries, corporations and all of that to protect it, to reduce waste and all these different things. All right, so basically I'm assuming here in the United States we have a few laws of how water is used and like what is the propriety, like appropriation of it, right? And basically we have the riparian rights or riparian doctrine, and we have prior appropriation. Technically here, so anything that's green, you see most northeast states use it. That means the riparian rights, and it gives rights to anyone whose like property and land or whatever is bordering the body of water. So that's a river, stream, lake, whatever. They are, yeah, it's mostly followed by like the eastern states, as you can see in the color green. So that means if like my property is like right next to the Potomac River, right, in the DMV area, it's like for me, it's for my neighbor, it's for whoever, it's like anyone around that area, right? It doesn't matter that I got that first, it doesn't matter that like I'm using more, it's like we're all using it, we all have the same right to use it. On the other hand, prior appropriation, which is mostly, as you can see, like mid and then west, except for like California, which has like a hybrid system of both riparian and prior appropriation. Prior appropriation is literally, it gives the right based on the date use, that the date use begins, like with the first person to use the water having the strongest claim. So let's say in Texas I have a farm and like my grandparents had a farm there, right? And it's like a familial thing, and it's been there in my family for the longest time. And like in this area, let's say in Dallas, we were like the first farm or something, or like we have been the biggest farm for the longest time, and we start using like all this water or whatever, it basically, the rights will stay with us, if that makes sense, in that land that we bought, because we're using more water than basically any other residential. Let's say if there's only like homes but they don't have farms, it's obviously not the same use of water, it's not the same quantity. And like we were also there first, so there's that. So in places where they use the hybrid approach, it's like a combination, it really depends, like I guess where you are. But yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Same old. Leaving to work, commuting on Metro, baby. Here I'm preparing for a tabling, just preparing the stuff we're taking, Narcan, and I was trying to be aesthetic. And as you can see, that came out weird. So yeah, I tried.
Rome, do you want? No. All right, everyone. I totally forgot to record, but I got home, I ate, as you probably saw, and I'm working from home from the rest of the day. Today at work, we went into a high school to talk about substance use prevention. This is part of the work I currently do. Substance use prevention with Spanish-speaking moms, and in celebration or also in the memory of Red Ribbon Week. And we had this conversation about how they can engage with their children and kind of like how to start those conversations about the consequences of using substances, the misuse of substances, and also kind of like also recognizing them. So talking beyond like the most common, you know, alcohol and like also weed or marijuana, but also just talking about like opioids and like how they can be misused, and also for them to kind of identify if their children have maybe started utilizing it, and how to approach those, which usually are very delicate moments. And it went really well. And right now I am doing administrative work, mostly just filling out this community conversation sheet that we have to basically record these things that we talked about with the parents. Obviously, just like the main general ideas of the conversation. And we also talked about like what factors they think are protective, basically, and also maybe a risk factor in our communities that may lead to an increase or decrease of like substance use. And the conversation went really well. And yeah, and right now I also said, well, I need to wash my hair today, so let me put on my hair product, because as we should, get these things like done and multitask. And later I'll probably go work out a little bit and then wash my hair. But yeah, while this is cooking, I'm working. So yay. See you later. Good morning. It's November 1st. It's Friday. Today I have a couple of meetings, and other than that, I also have to review a couple of presentations that I have upcoming. Next week I have one educational session along with one of my work colleagues for 6th and 7th graders about substance use prevention and their relationship with like healthy coping mechanisms. And then I also have to review this presentation for Spanish speaking parents, also learning about substance use prevention, and we're going to talk about effective communication with youth. So that's going to be about it. I'm going to show you a little bit about what the presentation looks like, and well, the presentation and what the whole session will consist of, since we have a few activities as well. And yeah, that's going to be about it, and obviously respond to some emails that I have on my inbox. But yeah, other than that, I have school. Probably will do it later, or well, I really only have one assignment to do, and I would probably just do it on Sunday. And that's the case study thing I told you guys about. And yeah, that's it. So bye, see you on Sunday. All right, everyone. So this is the presentation I was telling you about that I was trying to finish drafting. Everything is fully in Spanish because it's the group that I'm going to be talking with. Most of them are monolingual Spanish speakers. So what it says here is strategies to speak with our youth or our like young people around us. Then we have a little bit of introduction, the importance of having like open conversations with them regarding substance use prevention and like how it can help them. So we have like establishing trust, obviously fomenting the ability of taking like informed decisions, promoting education and information, and more. Then we go into a little bit of an icebreaker or activity, and I'm gonna have them like group together and give them some scenarios. One of them will be the parent, one of them will be the kid, and then they'll role play technically based on that, and they'll answer to the question or the scenario depending on what they have assigned, right? Then we have a few little bullet points and like strategies to have like open conversations with their youth and children. I'm asking also them like what other strategies could they add, and that's kind of tidying it up from the activity, so they can come up with any of the things that like arise during their role playing and scenario activity, and then how to answer some of this most common questions about substances. We also have another activity that we have like building confidence and trust within our youth and parents, and then like different techniques to have active listening, and then another activity, which that will really just depend on time. Sometimes it takes us a little bit longer within activities, but we'll see. I think we're gonna have time for this, and this is just more of like someone is gonna share something, anything, and then the rest of the group is gonna add or repeat what they say, or like give an answer, for example, just to practice on those active skills, active listening skills that they are working on. And then I'm going to ask them kind of to review what can we do as a community to increase open communication with our young people. And then that's it. That's basically going to be it. The conclusion, just reminding them that together and all of us working together, we're stronger than working in isolation. And if they have any questions, and that will be the end of it. So now I will probably send them a reminder that we have our meeting next week. And yeah, that's it. That's for that. And then obviously I have like other emails and stuff I gotta do. Yeah.
All right, everyone. Good morning. It's 6:30 a.m. on Saturday, November 2nd, and I need to do my quiz before I go play soccer today. And this quiz, I've only taken one like this before. I don't know. Come out of there. And from that one, we can say that the guy is notoriously too known to do tricky questions. So let's see how this one's go. But it's gonna be about the chapters that I kind of talked to you, share with you earlier. So water and law, and economical and social frameworks of water. So, and it's open book. It's like nothing crazy. It's just like, it's not gonna be straightforward. Like, oh, it's gonna be in this presentation, like this exact like sentence or number or something like that. So we'll see how it goes. I'll let you guys know. I mean, I'm not gonna receive the grade right away, but yeah, I'll let you guys know how I feel after I finish it. It had a couple of tricky questions, but I think I did pretty fine. And yeah, we should be good to go. Tomorrow I'll show you guys my little case study for that one homework that I share with you about, the finding that organization that has done work around like water and water conservation protection and all of that in another country. I feel like I have a couple already while I was looking for something else yesterday, so we'll see. Yeah, I'll go play soccer in a little bit, so bye.
Randomly just put something in the chat.
Bro, the city's going down for sure. Yeah,
I did procrastinated to write this paper, the one I was telling you about, but it was really cool. I loved it. And it was the intervention was based on in the Dominican Republic, so that was great. But yeah, that was my week. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.